Hello, welcome to my Sunday Front. I was trying again with the microphone, but it seems, I gave it my best shot, and the last thing was to check this one to see if it fit, and it fits. But the new one, of course, is not compatible with this. And I'm thinking that maybe this isn't compatible with Apple. So I have to look into that. That's my last resort. But and there's always I'm sure there's another option that's probably more affordable than this name brand one. But I think I went through like a bunch of phones this year. So, I mean, a bunch of microphones this year. So I'm not excited to do this again, but I'm gonna, because these shows require, of course, your full engagement. And so that's why it's important for me to keep trying and researching, because I want to be on top of my game. If anything, these shows are important to the Red Pill community, and I'll continue striving for success on all levels, on all areas of this entire channel. So like I said, stay tuned. Hopefully we get more growth and see a sooner change in our situation as far as a budget or whatever. But that's all to come, you know what I mean? If anything, I'll just buy the digital mic that after I retired my gold one, I was seeing it everywhere. I was well, I can't go back to that. So I was I'm gonna try another adapter. So the last thing I can do is buy probably a better sound card if I want to use that mic. But the sound cards are ranging upward of, I'd say they're about $35. So I'm not sure, I'm not sure if I want to go through that, because the one that I got, it was purely gamer. It was 100% gamer life. It was giving nothing but, and I really, today, for example, this is a freak weather pattern around the world that I wanted to kind of show you guys, give you some insight, especially our Red Pill community. I want to make sure that everybody is kind of up to date on things like this, because people always fight over climate, and and there's a thing about budgeting, and there's also, it just gets political after that. But there's also the humanitarian side of everything, because this channel, at the time it was founded, it was a crisis situation, and that's kind of what propelled every event thereafter on the show. So that is kind of what my passion probably would be. I know I did prepper stuff, but it was because we were going through a hardship, as I mentioned, that these people are going through. And we all have to kind of stick together, unite as one voice for those who cannot speak, given their situations. and circumstances, and you know, and beyond their control where they're at, you know. So Bangladesh has been hit with flash floods. They continue to rise and displace people. There, of course, is no control over the situation, and the people have also stated that for a lot of the instances, they had no warning. So Bangladesh is still reporting that they are having the flash flood problem with the water rising, and you know, they're still trying to get to higher ground, and it's just a situation, you know, where they're just completely surrounded. And I'm not just talking about a flood. Like, when I'm talking about these floods are like, will swallow your car. They're that high. So and Saskatoon, Canada is also experiencing an unprecedented amount of rainfall that caused and continues to flood residential areas even. And many residents are scrambling to find drier shelter as the threat is yet to be over. So I thought, oh, you know, it's Canada, right? Like, they have a lot of wildfires. I wouldn't imagine that they would have like this flash flood that lasted this long. And this happened over the weekend. So like, I was like, hopefully they'll have something positive coming out, you know, and give us an update. And I was thinking, hopefully they'll, you know, make a mental note to talk to us about, you know, the situation, because it's not rare. So when we did get the update, I was kind of disheartened, because like, I was hoping so badly that, you know, it would be an optimistic, you know, more, you know, thing. But they continue to have water flooding where they live in the neighborhoods, and you know, so they don't really, you know what to do, because like, it just appeared to have happened and continued, you know. I think for the length of time that these two places have the water issues, that you know, it's like, the more time you go without the aid that you need, it's like, the more like, you kind of have less like optimism, you know, like, your approach is not gonna have as many options and choices if you had all this warning and prep time, you know. So Hurricane Hone has hit the Big Island. So we're talking Hawaii now. And about 20,000 people are without service as the downlines cause massive outage. The disruptions were immediately met with the crew partly flown in to aid and repair, bringing the time numbers faster. The roads are filled with debris, waterways as well, with Hurricane Gilma headed over, significantly weaker though still threatening to bring more severe weather, rains. The cleanup pace has picked up. Workers expect to be done hopefully before Gilma arrives. Gilma will hit the coastal waters around Thursday, continue across the islands into the weekend, and Tropical Storm Hector, which is churning right behind, does not appear to have a track at this time and might even weaken further. But this we'll keep an eye on and update as needed. So this is Hawaii. It was hit with Hurricane Hone, and then Hurricane Gilma is headed in the same direction, but this time, instead of going under as Hone had, it's going above and then down. So like, it's going across all the islands, but in a downward motion. And so, you know, the track is showing that it will make landfall but it will make landfall as a weaker storm. And it's like above the big island, this one, and into the smaller islands. So Tropical Storm Hector, which is behind it, it had formed as well a hurricane. Hone had turned into a hurricane. It started its menacing ways, spinning, but they're not sure whether it's going to gather enough strength to cause a problem, although it is right behind Gilma. And that is something that we need to watch and, be very vigilant, because we can't predict nature. So that's Hawaii. Last Thursday, the Grand Canyon also received flash flooding and heavy downpours. Many hikers were rescued, 100 plus, leaving a 30-year-old woman dead. She and her husband were swept into the rushing water. She vanished and rescuers were able to save him. On Sunday, her body was found, bringing the most recent death toll to 3 at the Grand Canyon, prompting the Havasupai tribe to close for tourism permanently. So a couple that was included in the 100 plus that had to be rescued, they were swept into the flood water, and he had been saved, and her this happened Thursday, so her body wasn't found until Sunday by a group of people who happened to spot her. So luckily, the search continued and they did get her. May she rest in peace. She was about 33 years old, and I think the death toll over there was 3, and I'm not necessarily involving the flood, with the other victims, but they did decide that they didn't no longer want the tourism to continue and discontinue that, on their land. And that's kind of some sad news that happened in the Grand Canyon, but they were devastated by the waters, and that is a very popular, very gorgeous place that a lot of people will pick, when they decide a vacation. So it's a lot of it's a high number that had to be rescued, but you think about the number of people it attracts, and it makes sense. So that's kind of yeah. But thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. My son different. Bye-bye.